On the 4th of October 1999, Capcom and the theatre company set announced there will be an official Resident Evil stage play, which would later be given the name Biohazard set Bioroid Year Zero. The play was to be performed in 8 cities across Japan and had tons of marketing to go along with it, including press conferences, contests and a promotional video. However, with so much coverage and advertising, the show is completely lost. No videos or stills of a performance, just nothing. Skip to 2022, a channel called Jimmy's Japanese Retro Game Dump posted this video about Leon awkwardly fighting zombies on stage. It's incredibly campy, and when I came across it this year thanks to trying to find video ideas on the Lost Media Wiki, I knew I had to research it further. This is everything I could find about Bioroid Year Zero, the Lost Resident Evil stage play. So according to the Lost Media Wiki, Bioroid Year Zero was created by a Japanese theatre company called Super Eccentric Theatre, also known as SET. It was performed in multiple cities across Japan from July 12th to August 20th, 2000. It was directed by Osamu Yagahashi along with producer Yuji Miyake. The script looks to be written by someone called Naoyuki Osawa as well. According to information off Reddit, it was a musical set in a parody version of Raccoon City, called Bio City, and it was from the zombies' perspective, so they made the zombies the protagonists. There's a surprising amount of information available for the show, with nothing more than some images, plenty of plot details which are still a bit confusing, and the marketing as well. There was so much information on that front, along with reports from conferences and rehearsals. The Resident Evil Wiki also agrees on most of the points from Lost Media Wiki. So straight away, there's some issues with trying to find out what the plot summary was about for this show. The Lost Media Wiki has its own plot summary, and then on top of that, the REwiki has some details that conflict with it, and then on top of that, there's an official web page that has its own summary. So I'll go off that for now, and then add details from the other wikis. Also, while looking at cast list, neither of the wikis can agree on names of characters and actors, so I'll rely on what's on the websites by using a dodgy Google Translate. A modified virus leaked from a lab in Raccoon City. At the same time, another biohazard occurred somewhere else. However, the accident that occurred in the secret research city of Bio City was handled in secret by the military and buried in darkness, and now, 9 years later, mysterious figures have begun to stir in the ruins that were supposed to be sealed away forever. Now a ghost town, biological units, zombie busters, female warriors, and a mysterious beautiful girl. What could their purpose be? The shocking truth now revealed. The REwiki has a very similar plot summary, with a couple extra details regarding the characters. They mention a video journalist played by Hideaki Mizuki called Yoppa Parachi, who arrives at the scene to investigate sightings of zombies after the initial outbreak. He interviews members of the Biocity Police Department, Analyzer played by Naoko Shiraishi, and Burrows, or Barrows according to Lost Media Wiki, but according to the cast list and by using Google Translate as Burrows. He's played by Masaru Miyauchi. They get attacked by zombies during the interview where Yoppa Parachi, I'm just going to call him Yoppa, escapes into the woods, where he finds a girl who's able to teach zombies how to speak, and who is also responsible for an initial accident as a child when breaking a beaker while playing in a lab. Now, the Lost Media Wiki deviates from this part a bit. It talks about how Analyzer has a girlfriend called Jean who was killed by zombies, and now believes it's his mission to take revenge on them, but I have a couple issues about this because there's also no other mention of a girlfriend at all, so I take this bit with a grain of salt. It might just be a mistranslation, I'm not sure. It also says Yoppa found a mysterious girl chasing zombies into a forest instead of escaping the woods. Might also be a translation issue, I'm not completely sure. Also, just a side note, some of the characters named on this cast list are named after designer brands, like Armani and Versace, just to name a few. I'm not sure how that is, it's just kind of funny. So now you might be wondering, how does Leon fit into this? His name isn't on the cast list, so I assumed maybe he was renamed. In the video he's wearing an RPD uniform, so I thought he couldn't be Analyzer or Burrows since they're BPD, but then I checked the description of the promotional video. Leon is played here by Mr. Masaru Miyauchi, which lines up with the name for the actor for Burrows according to REwiki. I'm not sure why they changed it, maybe it's because it's a foreign name, I'm not sure. I also noticed Claire being in it from the video on the official website. I assumed she was renamed to Analyzer since it's a female character and works with Leon, but then I remembered Claire isn't a cop. However, on the REwiki, in a press conference, Claire is played by Noriko Hasegawa, who plays as Biotope, so I guess Claire was renamed to Biotope and Analyzer is his new character altogether. According to series creator Shinji Mikami, the idea of an RE stage play began in 1999 and was picked up by Super Eccentric Theatre. The play's title is a portmanteau of Biohazard and Android. This was to give it an identifiable but technological sounding name. The subtitle Year Zero was decided as it was to be performed in 2000. This is according to the REwiki, but the Lost Media Wiki has a couple other details that adds to this but also conflicts with some parts. According to the Lost Media Wiki, the idea for a Resident Evil stage play originated in 2000 when Daisuke Yamazaki, then president of SET, and a producer from Ad Studio 401, the company producing the stage play, met Sano, a licensing representative from Capcom. Sano praised SET's stage plays and suggested creating a stage adaptation for our game. Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil, watched SET's stage play and said, "This dear company could really mess up my game in a good way. They seem like they could take Resident Evil's world and turn it into something chaotic while we're understanding it." Just a little side note by the way. That bit it said, Sano praised SET's stage plays and suggesting creating a stage adaptation for our game. Who wrote this? That is so hard to say. They reference a Japanese RE book called Another Side of Biohazard, which I looked into but I couldn't find much apart from some eBay listings that I can't really justify buying. There's mentions of a press conference on Lost Media Wiki, which has proved to be a huge part in what we know about the plot thanks to the staff uploading a transcript to an official Bioroid website. Turns out there's been multiple press conferences and contests which were crucial to the marketing of this show. As previously mentioned, the show was repeatedly advertised through press conferences and contests, along with the official websites to inform the public about the storyline, ticket and venue information, the events of the press conferences, and announcing the contest winners. The events that took place were the October 1999 press conference, the dance contests, March 2000 press conference, April 2000 Tokyo Game Show booth and promo video, and a zombie face contest. So we'll look through each of the events chronologically so I have a timeline of sorts. The stage play was officially announced on Monday 4th of October 1999 at Ginza Studio. The event was conducted by Miyake, Yamazaki and Hiroshi Tagami, with the guest appearance of Shinji Mikami. During the event, the zombies invaded the stage and were interacting with the reporters. Unfortunately, SET's website there's no archive images. Oh yeah, we should probably explain the SET's website. On top of the official Bioroid website, SET had its own which documented more press conferences and contests, along with reporting on progress of the play and rehearsals. It's actually a really cool rabbit hole to look through. There's very much an early internet aesthetic to it all. The Wayback Machine has been really important to the search since SET has changed its domain a while back. It's just a shame we don't have as many images to go with it. On the wiki there's only one image of this event, however I made some discoveries which we can look at later on. To promote the play locally, SET held a contest for dancers from 7 cities they planned to perform at. Nearly 2,400 people applied from across Japan. The winner was Mei One, Google mistranslates as Mei Omine. At the time she was a 15-year-old dancer from Osaka, whose name you'll hear quite a few times. With the two runners-up being Koichi Otaki from Sendai and Akinatsu Tani, an 18-year-old Kyogen performer from Japan. There's not much information known about the runners-up apart from profiles that were created for them on the SET website. Mei gets featured quite a lot on the Biohazard website. She was interviewed by RE and said she played Biohazard 2 at a friend's house, saying it was difficult with lots of keys to collect and also scary. Since she's from Osaka, she went to the Capcom headquarters and was asked if she saw any secrets about the new game. Mei stated, "I saw some materials but they were in English so I didn't really understand them." Along with meeting Mikami there, she was apparently very nervous and also called him handsome. Mei also has her own profile on the Biohazard website in case you were interested. According to the REwiki, the second press conference was held on Friday the 31st of March 2000 at the Makahari Prince Hotel in Chiba. Those who were reportedly at the event were Hiroshi Tagami, Hideaki Mizuki, Shinji Mikami, Yuji Miyake and Osamu Yagahashi. The panel was made to inform the public about the development of the play so far, with Tatsuhiko Kasi and Naoko Shiraishi making a press announcement as well as introducing Mei One as the winner of the dance contest. Immediately after, a mob of zombies invaded the stage. They were then saved by Leon and Claire, played by Masaru Miyauchi and Noriko Hasegawa respectively. The Lost Media Wiki also talks about the March event. It goes further in depth about the philosophy of writing the script. The Biohazard website has a transcription which I'll read out the interesting parts of. I heard the first draft of the script isn't complete. What are your thoughts on it? It was completed much later than expected. Video games have a storyline and there's a hidden theme hidden within it, but that theme doesn't really come to the forefront. Rather, the focus is on how to overcome the obstacles. In that sense, when I looked at the first draft, I thought it would be great if a game like Resident Evil had a theme like this. The story is about zombies who are sacrificed in experiments fueled by our own desires, serving as a warning to modern society. And the theme is that perhaps there is something more important for humans than just their own. It's also a musical action comedy with humour, song and dance. While the theme was originally conceived by Set, the first draft makes me think that perhaps it was also a theme that Mikami-san incorporated into the game. What do you think, Mikami-san? Actually, when we made Biohazard 1, we wanted players to feel the theme you just mentioned. The main theme of Biohazard is fear, and there are sub-themes as well. However, we are always working on a very tight schedule, and there are parts where we had to cut out all the parts that we should have conveyed to everyone. The approach changes a lot when it comes to fear and laughter, but I would be very happy if Mr. Miyake's intentions are conveyed. So that means it was a good decision to lead the stage adaptation to Set? That's right, I'm really looking forward to it. By the way, have you read the first draft yet, Mr. Mikami? Not yet, I haven't been able to see it. He said, I made it in Ichitaro, can you take a look? But I don't have Ichitaro in my environment.
笑いっていうところでまたちょっと変わってくると思うんですけど、そういうところが伝わればいいんじゃないかなって僕は非常に嬉しく思ってます。
ということはこれを舞台化を SET に任せてよかったなっていう感じですかね。
そうですね、最初ごねてなんですけど、
無理やり言わせたみたいで、
今となっては本当に、非常に楽しみに、思ってます。
By adapting a work that has become a mega hit and is selling all over the world into a stage production, are you looking to venture beyond your previous scope? One feature of this production is that there are a large number of game users. Games are a two-dimensional world. Stage productions are three-dimensional, so we want our audience to feel as comfortable watching our production as possible, and we're currently considering how to incorporate video into the stage. Our current plan is to use live-action footage if possible to blend it with the stage. However, rather than simply streaming video, the key is to explore how we can incorporate video into three-dimensional space. There are plenty new types of projectors available, so I hope to incorporate those. The casting is also something to be considered about. What about the casting? As we've been discussing, we received the first draft from scriptwriter Osawa late, so we can't announce any definitive casting plans at this stage. I just did some action and dance, and among the actors who appeared were Miyauchi Yutaka. I think that's mistranslated from Omasaru Miyauchi, I'm not too sure. But it's the same guy, who plays Leon and Claire, and Hasegawa Noriko and Mizuki Hideaki, who appeared under his real name. What I can announce at this point is I can promise you that these three will play key roles in Bioroid Year Zero. A third press conference was held at Tokyo Game Show 2000. It was chaired by Tatsuhiko Kasi and Naoko Shirato. May performed part of the dance of the newly composed Bioroid theme, which was once again interrupted by zombies and saved by Leon and Claire. There's more information about the event on the set website along with some images, but not all has been archived. They also mention Leon and Claire, but it's mistranslated by Google as Chameleon and Claire, which is pretty funny. So one bit I find really funny about this is it says Cassie's jaw was dislocated by the force of the punch, making him unable to speak, and Claire and Leon mistake him as if for a zombie. However, as soon as Leon punches him, his jaw returns to normal and the suspicion is cleared. There's also a Famitsu article which provides new images and provides some extra details. At the Capcom booth, a preview of the play Bioroid Year Zero, based on the Resident Evil series, was held. Members of the popular theatre troupe, Supercentric Theatre, and Mei One, who was selected through an audition for the play, performed in a short drama. First, a video interview with troupe leader Yuji Miyake about the theatrical adaptation of Bioroid Year Zero was screened on a large screen inside the Capcom booth. For Bioroid Year Zero, original author Shinji Mikami told me I could do whatever I wanted, so I'm currently coming up with various story ideas. Miyake commented, "While the game tells the story from a human perspective, for Bioroid Year Zero, I wanted to portray humans from the zombies' perspective. I want to create a musical action comedy that is unique to Set, while also promoting the importance of life." Afterward, members of Set and Mei One performed a preview performance of Bioroid Year Zero. On stage, Mei and the presenters are attacked and kidnapped by zombies, but the zombies just want to learn human language. The audience were captivated by this live performance, which is completely different from the game. Bioroid Year Zero will be performed in 8 locations nationwide, starting from Ikebukuro Arts Theatre in Tokyo on July 12, 2000. Advance tickets will go on sale from April 15th. If you're interested, be sure to go see it. In spring of 2000, a video promoting Capcom games from the Tokyo Game Show was put onto VHS and given out to the public. The full VHS was uploaded on YouTube by Jimmy's Japanese Retro Game Dump in 2022. This compilation includes a 2-minute 35-second clip promoting a show. Here it is.
恐怖と笑いっていうところでまたちょっと変わってくると思うんですけど、そういうところが伝わればいいんじゃないかなって僕は非常に嬉しく思ってます。
ということはこれを舞台化を SET に任せてよかったなっていう感じですかね。
そうですね、最初ごねてなんですけど、
無理やり言わせたみたいで、
今となっては本当に、非常に楽しみに、思ってます。
今回のバイオロイド0年の主要人物として、活躍してくれることはお約束できます。覚悟しろ！
カプコンのファンクラブの皆さん、三宅裕二です。今回ですね、我が SET がバイオハザードを舞台化するんですけれども、本当にもともとこのゲームソフトにあるテーマをですね、さらに SET なりに大きなテーマにしましてですね、ミュージカルアクションコメディという、笑いながら、バイオハザードをやったことのある人なら本当により面白く見れるようなミュージカルアクションコメディの舞台を作りたいと思っておりますので、ぜひともですねチケットを買って劇場に足を運んでいただきたいと思います。必ず面白い作品を作ってお見せしたいと思っております。よろしくお願いします。それでは今回の全国7大都市のオーディションで優勝しました舞ちゃんに何か挨拶していただきましょう。マイクを自分で持ってください。
はい、持ちます。はじめまして、大根舞です。今回の舞台はきっと面白いものになると思うので皆さん見に来てください。はい、お願いします。
ねじゃないんだよこの野郎。まだまだ未熟な舞ちゃんですが、これからいろいろな場所で活躍すると思いますので、舞ちゃんの方の応援もよろしくお願いします。
By comparing this to images from the stills and the transcript on the website, it seems like it's a mix of footage from the March press conference and the April event. We can also judge this based on the clothes worn by May. There's also a full-size poster of this image, but it's blocked by May and Yuji. Finally, the last documented event for the show was the Zombie Face contest, which coincided with the play. Set held a second contest which encouraged fans to send in photographs of themselves in zombie cosmetics. Participants had from the 23rd of June to the 13th of August 2000 to send in their photos either in post or by email. The winners were announced in September, and the prizes available were copies of the first 3 RE PlayStation games, a copy of Resident Evil Code Veronica, and a copy of Resident Evil on PC. Each were signed by Mikami. 2 more prizes included a Biohazard t-shirt and a Year Zero table clock of all things. The winner would be Yumiko Yama, who picked the signed PC game. There was also an interim report reminding people to submit their photos. They also mentioned how members of staff are submitting their own photos, but annoyingly none are archived. They mentioned an in-person competition on 26th of August 2000 at the East 21 shopping mall Kyosho Koto Ward. They invited those who were particularly impressive with their zombie faces. This is just a bit I found out when recording this. I clicked on a title from the Wayback Machine and it came up with a tutorial on how to make your own zombie face. It says here how to create a proper zombie, but unfortunately there's no archived images, so yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure they said somewhere, I don't remember where I saw it. I'll probably find it when looking through the websites again. But they did. I think they did say that they'd the best faces would appear on the play, maybe on the screen or something like that. I'm not too sure, or maybe as masks. But I might be completely wrong about that. I'll need to double check to see if I can find that. Since I was going headfirst into this topic that is a lot of information, but not enough people looking into it, I found some images that weren't archived on the Resident Evil wiki or the Lost Media wiki. But these things might already be known, just might have not updated it. So I'm not going to claim that I discovered this, it's just what I found myself. And then there's also pictures on the Resident Evil wiki that I couldn't find without finding other images that weren't on it, if that makes sense. So these images might already be well known, just not updated on the wiki. I'll start with discoveries from the October 1999 event and then go down from there. So as far as I was aware, there's only one still from the October 99 event, until I dug a little deeper on the Wayback Machine. By going on the set website in 2000 and clicking on a theatre forum, it will take to a website set used for discussions and updates of their plays. Find past forums and you'll find a list of old articles about their plays. Look through it again and you'll find set Resident Evil stage adaptation, and click that and there's 2 grainy photos from the October 99 event. As far as I'm aware, these 3 stills are the only footage we have at this press conference. Okay, so one more discovery here. We'll finish up the script. Not exactly lost, but I looked up the Japanese spelling of Bioroid Year Zero on Google and came across this post from a very popular art account. So now we have 4 stills from the October 99 event, and this was just sitting there on Twitter. This wasn't anywhere at all. This is a really high quality Polaroid, and there's also a completely different angle. We can see Mikami as well being carried. With discoveries about the dance contest, there's also archived pictures of the editions and a close-up to Miyake being a judge. There's also statements by Miyake, Mei, Koichi and Akika made to tell everyone their final thoughts on the contest and where they placed. But overall, not too much, apart from pictures of the editions and the runners-up. Right, so let's talk about this website. I called it All Indexed on my script, but if I call it Special Feature Website, it's the same thing. But immediately we have some new images, a new promotional image for the show, a still of the Tokyo Game Show booth, a gun, and members of staff. So let's look at the links here. So the Bioroid Year Zero CN Quick Time format is a dead link. Cast list and schedule is just what it says. News is just the conference reports, apart from the last two links. Additional online voting results announcement and final judgment report. This links to a web page where you can find pictures that were discovered in the prize draw section here. The last link here is a little strange. The zombie judgment test topic call for ideas results report. First time I used Google Translate on the earliest instance of this website, August 12, 2000, it came up with some questionable translations, but accidentally I translated a newer instance of it and it actually made sense. Turns out there weren't any scripts that Set were happy with, so they cut the contest and said there's no winner. However, they did give out a consolation prize for companies. Next link is the special event of it only available to those who came to show in person. Prizes listed were a model gun, Resident Evil 1 to 3 for PS1, Resident Evil for Dreamcast and Windows that were all signed by Shinji Mikami. Other prizes are vouchers, I think, and an invitation to another Set play. Loot Cycle was also updated after the play finished its run, where they gave a link to the winners. The model gun was won by Saiki Takamasa. RE1 to 3 for PS1 was won by Abe Masashi, all signed by Mikami. The next part of the website shows a diary written by the staff member Naoko Shirato, telling us what the members have been up to while travelling on their Bioroid tour. It was updated later to include 3 more diary entries. Unfortunately there are no images that are archived, but I might read through them for another video because it could be an interesting topic. Next up is director Samu Yagahashi's page. He basically announces the script is done and asks the fans to come see the show. Here's an excerpt from Hideaki Mizuki, who plays Yoppa Parachi, telling us about his costume. He says he has a brave figure. Next up is Maiichi Dai. Now, I was confused why they called him this, and then I looked at the kanji of Masaru Miyauchi. The last letter I can pronounce is Dai, as in like Daijobu, so that explains that bit. But anyway, this is his first time on the poster after being at Set for 6 years. Next up is the Tokyo Performance Report. And believe it or not, there's archived pictures, but they've already been archived by the Resident Evil wiki, so it's nothing new. However, just to prevent any confusion, these are stills from a dress rehearsal of the show, as mentioned by Yagahashi. The next page has no archived images, and the next page after that is a dead link. Next link is the rehearsal report from June 16th, and unfortunately no images were archived either, so nothing new from that. Next is Baby Turtle in Training. Not sure what it is, maybe a bad translation, but it's not Resident Evil related. Lastly, this is a link to a diary Mei was writing. It might be an interesting topic to look into later, but overall not Resident Evil related, so I won't bother with it. So at the end of writing the script and recording this, there was some last minute discoveries I made again. There's a couple of giveaways that related to Bioroid, not all were. There's a t-shirt that could be the one mentioned earlier, but it does say it's an original for a different Resident Evil project, so in case it isn't archived at all, it's here. There's also a diary of sorts written by Naoko Osawa, but unfortunately no images were archived, but it looks like he wrote about his experience when writing Bioroid. Could look at it for a different video again. Right, so this has been a really interesting dive into a subject that I don't think has gotten enough attention, even as someone who isn't really into musical theatre at all. Stage plays aren't exactly a novel concept for the series. Any fans might know there's 3 other ones, not including Year Zero. Plus, stage plays are a huge industry in Japan. They have a rich history, like Kabuki and No, in case you're aware of that stuff. So it's quite a shame there's no footage of the show. We were definitely robbed of some really corny live-action Resident Evil footage. But overall, if you do find any more information, please do share with your admins on Resident Evil Wiki or the Lost Media Wiki. Just don't harass or spam anyone. If you find any emails, chances are someone's already reached out to them. And I've reached out to Set myself on Instagram. But please don't harass them. But they should know it's been about a week. I haven't had any response. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is my first ever scripted video, documentary style, so I really hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I'm definitely keep improving as I'm going. I'm sorry if it's quite difficult to follow. Maybe I could have structured it in a better way. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.